everyone, it's Andrea. Thank you so much for tuning in. So my mom asked me to create this video because she had an experience. She had a closing. She went to the borrower's home, and when she got to the home, let's just say it was very, very, very lived in. We'll just say that. And I don't care how anybody lives, but she said it was. Anyway, so she also said that she was wearing a dress. And every part of her body that was touching the sofa, they were in the living room when they had this closing, every part of the body that was touching the sofa, so for example, her legs that were touching the bottom of the sofa, like every part of her body that was touching the sofa began itching. And she said she kept scratching all over. And then she would look down, but because it was dark where they were signing their the loan documents, because it was darker, she couldn't really see. But she knows she just kept itching and itching and itching. And to the point where by the middle to the end of the closing, she was just trying to hurry up and get out of there because she just was itching all over. And so, as she's telling me this story, it is reminding me of when I had, it wasn't a closing, it was actually general notary work. And I noticed bed bugs. So as she's telling me this, flashbacks are coming in my head. And it is now 2 days later, and she has bite marks all over her legs. And I told her, I said, you were probably looking really cute that day too, with her skirt on, because she doesn't wear dresses too often. But yeah, she has bite marks all over her legs. And she said, well, Andrea, what should I have done? And I'm just like, because I'm visualizing my experience. And I told her that she should have asked if they could have the closing somewhere else. For example, outside, on the porch. And it's unfortunate because this closing took place at night, I think. So that may have not been the best solution, but it was a solution. So I told her she could have had that situation where she asked if they had the closing outside or in one of their vehicles, because she had an allergic reaction. In my mind, all these itching and stuff, that's an allergic reaction to something. And that was an excuse she could use and see if they could have the closing outside or in one of the vehicles or even at a public location. And so she said she thought that was a good idea, and that I should probably make a video about it. So here I am. But it really just took me back. And as loan signing agents, we deal with a lot. We deal with pets. We deal with political conversations. We deal with religious conversations. We deal with the phones ringing and children interrupting the closing. I mean, we deal with a lot. But there are some things that we just have to be like, I can't do this. So in this type of situation where she's having, in my opinion, an allergic reaction, or in a situation where you feel like you're extremely uncomfortable, or in situations where you feel like you can't handle the religious or the political conversation. Like there have been some situations that people have talked about in the Facebook groups that I'm in that I'm just like, wow, a signer really did that? They really said that? If you feel that uncomfortable, Sometimes we need to come up with an exit strategy and stick to it. And if it's to the point where we feel like we need to leave the closing altogether, then that's what we have to do sometimes. For example, there was one lady, I don't know if it was a lady, but it was someone in one of the Facebook groups who was talking about how their signers said some very racial things, and he or she had to dismiss themselves from the table. Like, the things that they were saying was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, in those type situations, you call the signing service, you let them know what was said, let them know you appreciate their business, you hope that it does not affect their business relationship, but unfortunately you were not able to successfully close on that refinance, that purchase, whatever it is, because you felt extremely uncomfortable. And I can't imagine anyone being upset with you because of that. I can't imagine, in my mom's situation, the signing service being upset because they had to relocate to the closing to down the street to McDonald's, or because you don't want to bring home to your family bed bugs or fleas or whatever that was. You don't want that to happen to you. And now she's having to deal with, having Calamine lotion all over her simply because she stuck around in this house too long. I feel bad for her. I feel bad for her. And I'm telling you, it just reminded me, it gave me flashbacks. I was traumatized. But yes, being a loan signing agent isn't rainbows and sunshine all the time. 95% of the closings go off without no issues at all. But sometimes we have to deal with something. Like I read one person's post where she said that she showed up to a borrower's home and they turned the sprinklers on her. What? So, yeah, it's not all rainbows and sunshines. We make it work when we can make it work, but sometimes we just have to be like, we can't. So this video was just me running my mouth, apparently. But at any rate, my mom wanted me to make the video, tell you all what she had to go through. And hopefully none of us have to go through that. But if we do, let's go ahead and plan an exit strategy now. What excuse are we going to use if this happens? What excuse are we going to use if this happens? How are we going to handle ourselves and still maintain professionalism? But how are we going to handle ourselves? Let's already think about these situations so that we are prepared if it ever comes up. I want you all to stay safe out there. Continue doing great things. Stay humble. And I will talk to you all later. I'm sorry for this video, though. It just seems a little awkward. But that's okay. That's okay. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.